And I'm very honored today to recognize one of NABO's most distinguished founders, Janet Karika Inda, with NABO's highest honor, the Bizi Emankorra, the Lifetime Achievement Award. Janet recognized the potential to expand the influence and impact of the individual clubs, and in the early 1970s, Janet was one of the persons who worked on the formation of NABO through her involvement in the Zazpiat Bat Reno Basque Club and the Basque Studies program at the University of Nevada, Reno. Janet represented Reno in the first meetings to explore the creation of a Basque Federation that would tie the Basque clubs and communities across the United States together. Janet felt strongly that developing an overarching body among the Basque clubs would enable them to communicate and work together, and by joining forces, create a stronger Basque community. Janet assisted in getting the word out of this new initiative to the greater Basque communities across the United States, explaining to them of the long-term benefits and encouraging them to participate. Janet attended the first official meetings in the Reno Sparks areas on March 9th and 10th in 1973. NABO was incorporated in the state of Nevada on April 19th, 1974, and Janet was one of the 11 signatories on the NABO Articles of Incorporation. Janet continued to play a very active role in NABO and held various offices over a span of 14 years, including secretary, treasurer, vice president, and Janet was the first woman president of NABO from 1979 to 1981. Janet is the only person in NABO's history to serve all 4 officer positions, and over those years, Janet represented NABO and the Basque communities at large throughout the United States and Mexico. Janet also led on NABO programs that continue today, ensuring that Basque traditions and culture were preserved and passed on to the next generation was forefront in Janet's mind and her activities. She led the NABO effort to develop a Basque music camp for children to enable them to learn about their culture, dance, music, and language, as well as develop lifetime friendships with fellow young Basques. Today, Music Camp is known as Udaleku, and it's NABO's flagship program. Janet was also in charge of NABO's calendar its first year in 1977. NABO is now 48 years old and has grown from an original group of 8 clubs in 5 states, including the Reno Zazpiat Bat Basque Club, to 42 organizations in 9 states and the District of Columbia, and in 3 countries spread across 5 time zones. The success of NABO is strongly rooted in the groundbreaking work the founders like Janet did, and the Basque community today continues to benefit greatly from it. Milisker Janet. Well, here's this beautiful flag here. Thank you.
Thank you to all the club members who were part of this. It was such a surprise when I got a letter from Felipe stating that I had won this award. The other woman who gets this award with me this year is the other woman who helped start NABO. There were 3 of us, myself, Miren Rementidia Artiach, and Al Urquiaga. And Al had gotten money from the Idaho something of the arts, whatever it was called up there. And with that money, they decided that they wanted to do something to try and get the Basque together. And so they called Basque Studies, and I was working at the time at Basque Studies, and so Bill Douglas gave me my name, and so they called me, and we got together and we brainstormed, and we divided the states up into 3 groups. Miran took one group, I took another group, and Al took the third, and I was lucky enough to get Southern California, which are all very strong French Basque. They all speak Basque. They are very, very headstrong, and they were a little surprised to hear a woman's voice saying, "My name's Janet Inda, and we would like to start a Basque group of cooperation among the Basque." And at that time, ETA was very strong and very, very involved in things. And so a lot of the okay. Thank you, Tony. And so we had a lot of pushback in the beginning, but we decided, we were just going to march forward. And when I couldn't talk to the husband, because so many of the clubs in California in those days were just men, I'd get a hold of the wife, and the wife was usually a lot more receptive to what we had to say. And so it took us about 6 months to get enough people together to have this meeting in March. And we were going to call ourselves a federation, but our Nevada state bylaws don't allow that. So we became an association. And so we've worked hard all these years to try and get NABO to the point where it is today. And I'm very proud of where it is today. My thing was to get the young kids involved. That was always my push for NABO, even before I became president, was to get the young kids, because I felt if we could get the kids involved with each other through music camp or going to everybody's picnics, we would never have what we had gone through, the first of us had gone through, to get people together, and it has worked. When I traveled for many years, I took my daughter with me, and everybody in the clubs that I was visiting took care of her. They made sure that she, was taken care of. She had lunch, she had dinner, whatever was needed, and it was a wonderful time. And my daughter has got friends all over the Western United States, as well as I do, and I'm very thankful for that. And I'm very thankful that music camp took off, thanks to a benefactor who gave us money to get it started. His name was Gene Ratti from Colorado, and he had given me money on different occasions to get things going. And so, we had a lot of help along the way. It was a fight, I will say that. The Basque men are not the most willing to listen to a woman. And so as a result, I had a few butt heads with a few of them, but that's how it goes. I will never forget my time in NABO. I appreciated it and I love it. Thank you.